This week we're finishing up the Thanksgiving foods, and today we're going to concentrate on Jello salads. And this is not the kind in the mold. No, don't worry. This is something that's fun that you're going to be able to make with the kids, and they're going to enjoy it as a side dish with your Thanksgiving meal. This is everything you're going to need. 2 cans of condensed milk, 6 different colors of Jello, some water, and 2 packages of Knox gelatin. Now to get started, the first thing we need to do is make sure that this is like a non-stick, because we don't want that Jello sticking. We want it to come out beautiful and have a nice presentation. So the way that I'm going to do it, I don't have any spray, but if you do, you can go ahead and use a spray. I'm going to use some butter, and I'm going to put this all along the edges, the bottom, the corners, and I'm going to spread this out really thin because I don't want chunks of butter. I just want there to be a resistance so that when I go to take this out, it comes out beautifully and it makes a nice presentation. Because when it comes to any type of holiday, one of the most important things is how it presents itself. Now, the first layer we're going to do is the grape Jello. And you're going to want to have 3-ounce packages along with your gelatin. So the first thing we need to do is get some boiling water. And always put more than what you need for each layer, because you're going to have some evaporation and you want to make sure that you have enough. So now we're going to get this up to boiling, and then we'll move on. All right, this is the amount we're going to need of the hot water, boiling water. We're going to do 1 cup, and it was easier to pour from one measuring cup into another instead of from the actual pan into it and make a mess. So you get down, look and see. I need to add a little bit more. That's 1 cup. Now we're going to do 3 ounces of the gelatin, the Jello I should say, purple. And of the Knox gelatin, we're going to add in, let's see if I can just take it from here. We need 1 teaspoon of the Knox gelatin, and we are going to mix this, stir it, stir it, stir it, stir it, until everything is dissolved. You don't want any chunky pieces. If you have a little whisk, use that. Continue to stir, take your time, don't make a mess. And now we're ready to pour this in. We're going to pour this in nice and easy. You want a level surface. Then we're going to take this and we're going to put this into the refrigerator to cool for about 30 minutes. Now we got that in the refrigerator, we're going to be making the next layer. We needed some more boiling water. And I'm once again going to put it in the measuring cup so I don't make a mess pouring it. We're going to need 1 cup of the hot water. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of the Knox gelatin. That's 1. 2. And you got to stir this until it's combined well. got plenty of time to mix it. It's going to stay hot. And then once we have that all stirred up, we're going to do half a can of condensed milk. We're going to add that right into this. And then we're going to combine that. Once this is combined, then you need to make sure that this cools down. That's why you're going to be making this right after you put the first layer in the refrigerator. It looks like this is mixed up really good. So we're going to set this aside and let that cool down. And then when we're ready, we'll be able to combine that onto the next layer. Now that this is cool, we're going to go ahead and get that out of the refrigerator. And we're going to put the next layer on. And I went ahead and put film over top. Make sure it doesn't touch the actual Jello because it's going to stick. But I did this because this took a little longer to cool down. In the meantime, I put more water on to boil. And we are going to add half of this. Now this brought this up to 1.5, so it's about 3/4 of a cup, 1, 2, 3, that we're going to take it down to. We're going to pour this over. And now we're going to go ahead and you just move it around so you have the layer of white, and then we're going to put this back into the refrigerator. Now this one is going to only take about maybe 20 minutes or so. So we're going to put this in the fridge and we'll get started on the next layer. And this is something that you can involve the kids with, have them mixing stuff up with you, but be patient. When you're working with kids, they're not going to do like grown-ups. Remember, they're just kids. Now we're ready for the next layer. We're going to go with blue. I've already got the package of blue mixed up with 1 teaspoon of the Knox gelatin. All I need is a cup of boiling water. We're going to pour this in and stir it as we're pouring it in. Now, since we're doing layers on top of layers that have already been done, we do have to make sure that this comes down to at least room temperature, because you cannot put boiling stuff on layers that have already been in the refrigerator, because it's going to melt the layer that's before it. So we got this mixed. Everything is combined good. Now we're going to let this cool down, and then we're going to bring that other layers back out and put the next one on. Time for the blue layer. Now this goes back in the refrigerator, and then as soon as this is cooled off in a half hour, then we have the next white layer. And it really is just a matter of going back and forth with the layers. This gives you a complete cycle. So the next one we're going to be doing is green, white, yellow, white, orange, white, cherry, then white. And then that'll be the completed Jello. But I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm just showing you the complete cycle. Once we actually have this, I'll speed up the camera, just show you how each layer lays onto it, and then I'll show you when we're done. Now we're going to make the second half of this can. Each half a can will make 2 layers of the white on that Jello that we're making. So let's go ahead. We're going to put this first. We need 1 cup. Then we need a half a cup of this. And when I'm saying a half a cup, I don't mean a measured half. I mean a half a can. You don't have to be perfection at this measuring for the cans. It's just approximately a half a can each white section that we're making. Then we're going to go ahead and we need to get a clean spoon first off. And we're going to put 2. Let's mix this first. That way this is mixed up better. And it'll be easier to mix the gelatin. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's put 2 of the Knox gelatin in there. Mix that up. Do the next one. And we need to stir this up until it's mixed well. Now it's got to cool down. So this is going to be our next batch. We still have green to go, yellow, orange, and red. And I know it seems tedious, but you can do other things in between. It's really not a difficult thing. I guess the main thing you would want to concentrate on is being consistent and going to your next layer. The easiest tip I can tell you is to make sure you keep plastic wrap on that so that it doesn't dry out, and that'll give you more time. So say it doesn't have to be where every half hour you have to be ready for the next layer. I'm just taking my time. I'm just mixing each layer up. And then if I get in the middle of something, I don't have to worry. In there, it's covered, it's not going to dry out. And when you have this out here, you don't have to worry about it. It's coming down to room temperature. And then when we make this one next, that's going to come down to room temperature as well. If you have any questions at all, make sure and comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The second time I was showing you how to do the white layer with the second half of the condensed milk can, I put the boiling water, then I put the condensed milk, and then I put the Knox gelatin. I want to make sure that you guys put the Knox gelatin directly with the boiling water first, then add the condensed milk, because it could possibly bring the temperature down if you put the condensed milk in first. And I wouldn't want you guys to have any mix-ups for your holiday special Jello treat. All right, now we're on the last layer, and I had a little bit of a mishap and got too anxious and put the red on too soon. A little bit of the white is showing through, but no worries. We're going to go ahead and put our last layer of white on the top. And don't let little things like that spoil your holidays. Just work with it, and nobody's going to know the difference. There we go. The last beautiful layer. We're going to put it in the refrigerator, and we're going to start on our next Jello salad. The next salad we're going to be making is fluffy lime salad. And we're going to need some pecans or walnuts, it's your choice, some crushed pineapple, marshmallows, some lime Jello. This is only a 3-ounce. We need cream cheese and some heavy cream. The first thing we're going to start with is our crushed pineapples. We're going to open those up and drain them. Now that these are finished draining, I'm going to take the juice from the pineapple. We're going to put it into our saucepan. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of water. And to that, we're going to add in our lime Jello. And we're going to put that on low and continue to cook it. We're going to want to make it kind of like a syrup. We're going to put this down on low. We're just going to simmer this. And what we want to happen is this to melt down into the water as it's heating up. Now this is all melted down, so I'm going to turn the heat off. And we're going to end up putting that into the refrigerator until it gets like syrupy. I'm going to go ahead and put a towel down so that I can put that right in there. We'll check it in about 15 minutes, see what it looks like, and if we need to take it out. The next step is mixing up the heavy cream. We're going to go ahead and pour this into our mixer, and we're using a whisk. Then we're going to go ahead and put that on high. Perfect. Now that this is ready, we're going to go ahead and put it in another bowl because we want to use this to mix up the cream cheese in that. Set that aside. That's good stuff. Now we're going to put this in the refrigerator also and move on to our next step. We've had this out and it's nice and soft. You don't want to have it hard because that's hard to mix up. And we only need like 6 ounces. So this is an 8 ounce. In half would be 4. In half of a half would be 2. And there's our 6. This we'll just set aside because I like cream cheese on crackers. And we'll go ahead and put this into the refrigerator as well. We're going to use our other beater and get this nice and fluffy. All right, that looks good. Nice and fluffy. It looks pretty good. I think I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. It's been about 15 minutes. I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and use it. Alright, I just took this out of the refrigerator. It's a nice syrup. And then I'm going to gradually add this to the mixer. Now we're going to add in a cup of nuts. We're going to put in the pineapples. We're going to slow it down. We're going to put in the marshmallows. And now we're going to fold in some of the whipped cream. Now we just fold this in. Now we have this all mixed. We're going to put it into one of our bowls. And this is going to go into the refrigerator also for at least a couple hours. And now, not only do you have the two salads, but you had made some whipped cream. So now you have this all set for your pies as well. The time has come. We need to cut these and scoop them out and give them a taste. All right, the one thing I did do is I heated up the knife under hot water so that it would go through pretty easily. And then I'm going to cut it into, we'll do 4 per row. Now the first one is never the easy one to come out. So here's to it. Let's see what happens. Well, it looks like it is working nice. And look at that. Is that beautiful? Then we're going to take a scoop out of this one and see how this sets up. Scoops out nicely, nice and fluffy. Now let's give them a taste. I wanted you to see down inside there how beautiful that is. Could you imagine that on people's plates for the holidays? All right, we are going to taste this one first. I think it was definitely worth the labor that we put into it. The kids are going to absolutely love this. It's a mouthful of flavors. It's beautiful. And who doesn't love eating Jello? The next one, in contrast to the wiggly jiggly of the Jello, is a nice and fluffy side dessert. This is for grown-ups or kids or anybody. These are just really light desserts that taste good, are good, and are just plain fun. We still got a few more things up our sleeve for Thanksgiving. So make sure you're watching and click the subscribe so you get a notice when I'm putting the next one up. Have a great afternoon, guys.